And we're back on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, where with On the Record with Tiffany and Kevin, where we give it to you straight.
No chaser.
That's right. When it comes down to your health care, these are uncaptured kidney advocates out here in these streets, letting people know what's going on.
You know another thing, but you know what I realized when I went to the doctor yesterday? He didn't do the normal, push his finger on my leg at the bottom of your shin to see if he had any edema. Yeah, he didn't do that yesterday. I was ready for that one. I was like, come on, man. You're for number bone today, baby. But
look, I can see on camera here that he wouldn't have needed to do that.
Yeah, he didn't. He was like, he didn't do that. I was like, maybe he's slipping, but he...
But I can look at you and tell, like, man, you look
my doctor was I think Italian. I think he was like one of the a champion in squash.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's real good, man. He got all the trophies and stuff on the wall, and his nurses was telling me. He said, yeah, he's like the world champion in blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, wow.
Okay, I like Italiani.
Yeah. It's Dr. Maserati. I call it Maserati. But yeah, man, so...
Yeah. What do we do that was historical, Tiffany?
Okay, well, we did have a historical moment. I wish you could have been there, Reginald.
Me too. I like coming to San Antonio.
So what we did was we had the first genetic testing that's ever been done by a patient-led organization.
Mm-hmm. Really?
That's right. First time in the United States, first time in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I know you guys did the what's that 600 genetic test thing?
Yeah, that's exactly 385. It 385 genetic alleles, and so we brought it to community for the first time.
Yep.
Right.
We build models. So the model that we're doing is testing in a community setting to open up access to care. Because the particular demographics, we test always in high risk populations.
Yep.
We reserve our resources for that. We're not there to run tests someplace to look good and take a photo op. We're there consistently every week testing and helping people find the disease, because you got all these people out there talking about what should be done, what could be done. Well, they've been talking for 40 years, 50 years. They just talk. Yeah. So for us, we're all about taking the action.
Yeah, and being in those areas, being like you say, the high risk areas.
Yeah. That's right. That's how we've tested.
So wherever you guys see a Church's Chicken in a liquor store, Tiffany and them will be there.
That's what.
Because that's high risk areas.
It's not quite that, man. It's not quite that, but when you look at the data, right? So everything.
Places are. Sorry. Yeah. We see check cash, and I know I'm in the right neighborhood.
So
go ahead.
All right. So as Tiffany, as we were talking, right, Merrill Lynch is my background in operations, and is the background that I'm from, right? And so what we did is that we pulled data. So there's data available, and there's some people. There are groups that are at higher risk than other groups, right, for developing kidney failure, and so those indications are diabetes, high blood pressure, right? Genetic indications, cardiovascular disease, obesity. There's like about 5 or 6 of those traits. So what we've done is we've gotten the data sets and we
to isolate those
traits. And believe it or not, you can isolate those by zip code.
Down to the zip code.
Right down to the zip codes.
Them by state, by
city, county, city, zip code, and so that's what we've done. So we've done that, right? So that's why we were at Beasley Brown, right? It's kind of in the epicenter of diabetes, high blood pressure, and all these other traits. And so there at that location, that's why we were screening there, and that's why that particular population we felt would benefit from genetic testing, because anytime you got that much overlap there, and then they have a high rate of diagnosis of kidney disease, the various stages of kidney disease in the areas that surround Beasley Brown and those zip codes over there, right? Even like with our current location where our office is in 78207, and that's one of the poorest zip codes in the city of San Antonio
and
in
one
the state.
Of the poorest in the state.
And also they have high rates of diabetes, amputation, blood pressure, et cetera. That's why we're located there.
Yes, because San Antonio made the news.
Oh, amputation,
made national news on amputations.
Really?
Yeah.
Amputations are, we're number one for amputations, in the United States. Well, that's concerning.
Yeah. And what's even more concerning, like with kidney disease, right? It's like 80% of the people who experience kidney failure, 80% of those people, if they had received treatment and in the earlier stages of kidney disease, they could have been prevented from, their kidneys could have been prevented from failing, right? And there's similarities with amputations, right? And so for me as a patient, right, who's in stage 2 of kidney disease, I get angry. I'm like, this is that simple. People just have to be informed, and we can informed and start treatment. Right. And it can be prevented because it impacts several things. It impacts people's lives, the quality of their lives, and also it has an economic impact on their lives as well as their communities. Right. So if you get enough people with these various diseases, it has an impact on the local community and the quality of life in that community. And so that's why Tiffany brought me on and really kind of gave me free reign to do my thing. Right. And so my approach was very different.
We came up with empowering the community.
Yeah.
We know that the medical industry is what it is. Mm-hmm. So we're working actively to change that on the legislative side. But when it comes down to people, we had to make decisions now to help them now. Mm-hmm. It's not enough to sit up there having these pretty parties that it seems that all these places have. They have these beautiful parties, beautiful conferences where they make everybody feel good, only they're still sick. Yeah. And you're not helping them, you're not helping their family any. All you're doing is just having the same old conversation you've been having, just in a prettier place with a whole lot of bling and beauty and absolutely no substance attached to it.
So one of the things that we did, because that's a complaint that I made in the report that I gave Tiff.
Yeah, because those things aren't for those of us who are dying from kidney disease. That's for all these people.
But I'm not surprised that amputations, are high in the whole state and in the state of Texas than it is all over the country, in San Antonio, because it's the diet that Texas have. Oh man, shoot! You can't even get you get a salad in Texas. They say you want gravy on it.
Exactly.
So
I mean, the gravy is gobs and gobs of ranch dressing.
But that's true, right? But at the same time, right? The experts know there are certain ways to communicate. I, as a person, I've done sales the majority of my life, right? I've trained salespeople. I've trained the support staff with that. I know that if I frame something a certain way, and by frame is I tell you what the experience is in very simplistic language that you understand, right? I can overcome that. And so by educating people, and that's where we went with it.
Is, hey, we're not getting any place with the medical professionals changing how they approach things.
It's a system.
We've got to go to the patients and equip them with the information they need to get the proper assistance from their medical
and oftentimes
they're gonna have to pull that out of them.
But oftentimes, in fairness to the doctors, right? Because I was really angry at them when I found out my own situation. But in fairness to the doctors, oftentimes you will come in to the doctor and you got the sniffles. Right? Yeah, they see the other stuff going on with you, but you came here for the sniffles, right? And they give you, they deal with that particular issue, right? And so oftentimes what we have to do is ask the right questions, and then the doctors will come and go, because they're people. They're people, right?
Well, and they're dealing with you. You're only seeing the average medical professional. I know what they're saying. You're supposed to be seeing them, but here's the statistics on what is actually happening. You're seeing them from 5 to 7 minutes. Mm-hmm. And in a 5 to 7 minute window, they are reacting to whatever you walked in there for. Mm-hmm. They are reacting to whatever you walked in there for. They're not looking for anything new, anything other than that. Yes. So if somebody is only going to see you 5 to 7 minutes, you've got to walk in there, as we say, played up and prayed up and ready to ask the questions that are going to elicit good health for you. You've got to engage as much as they are engaging.
Yeah, and then the other thing with that is that we just provide simple explanations and we give questions to start priming and getting the doctor to go, oh yeah, let's look at that, right? And so we've developed over the last year very simple tools. They're educational tools. We didn't invent these tools, right? They're what I always call the eggheads have invented, right? And they're out there. And like a lot of people will hit me with, hey, do you know how to do what this is? No, I don't, right? I don't know everything about my car. I don't know everything about my car, but I do know what lights to look for. Hey, this light right here is flashing. Could you tell me what it is? And that's how I see what we're doing is we're telling you, hey, look for these lights, look for here, ask these questions.
Tools that the industry itself created. Yeah. That the experts themselves created. We're not coming up with our own tools. We're taking what the National Institute of Health has. We're taking what KDIGO has. We're taking the very best because as we have stated many, many times and will continue to state, we will only bring the best of the best to the people that we serve.
And let's talk about that. One of the strategies at Merrill Lynch that I wouldn't say it was a strategy. One of the things that we did was we wanted to look with every FA team that we had in our complex and what do they do best. Now, I know this guy does this. What are the things that you do best? We want you to focus in on that. That's your clientele, right? So that was one of the things here is what are the things that we do best at the foundation? And we do about 10 things better than anybody else. But we do it within a specific narrowed group of people. We stick with Texas, right? And we've screened in over a third of the counties in Texas, right? That we do really, really well. And we go where the disease is. And the disease is in certain zip codes within Texas, certain zip codes within the county. And so one of the things that kind of almost annoys me is that disproportionately Black people and Hispanic people are affected by kidney disease, but yet half the people who experience kidney failure are white. Right. Yeah. And so for me, I always say how you treat Black people or brown people is going to have an indirect impact on how white people are treated. And one of the terms they throw out is equity. And I was teasing Tiffany. I said, what? So we can all be treated equally crappily, poorly.
Because basically, that's what we're talking about here. Nobody's being treated well with kidney disease.
And if you look at
and when I say nobody, I don't mean just the patients. I mean nobody, not the practitioners, not the patients, because we're there. When we talk about a system and we talk about a systemic failure affects every piece of that system. That's what a systemic failure is, including the practitioners. Yeah. They're screwed over as much as we are.
And think about the part where, quote unquote, white people are treated better than Black and brown. You're talking percentage points. You mean like 0.05, like 5 basis points, right?
So
they're not treating them too much better.
Slapped. If I got an open-handed slap to the face by Mike Tyson, or I got an open-handed slap to the face by LeBron James, I still got an open-handed slap to the face by somebody with a whole lot of power behind him. It's just one guy is a fighter and the other one ain't. You know, like, come on, slap. Yeah, I'm not gonna be like, thank you, Jesus. LeBron slapped me instead of
my whole face, right? Versus just my cheek.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now it's different if a pimp would have slapped you.
But even with LeBron, a pimp, or Mike, I still
pimp slap is totally different. It's no different feeling.
So the things that we're bringing, that we're through that initial study phase and conceptual phase of what Tiffany, what I came on to do, and now we're getting ready for 2025. And one of the things that we were little.
You haven't even discussed what your outcomes were.
So our outcomes.
We're about outcomes.
Yeah. So we did 89 people at the thing on the 5th, on the screening on the 5th over
at the genetic testing.
At the genetic testing at Beasley Brown, 89. We intentionally kept it that number because there's still processes that are there that we have to work out.
We kept it under 100.
Under 100.
Screen. We wanted to have a good pool. So we were looking for 70 to 100, which is 89 was great. Mm-hmm. And I just want to say a special thank you to Elder Reverend Dr. Bryant and Reverend Bryant for supporting Texas Kidney Foundation and our vision, and the AME, the African Methodist Episcopal Churches, for coming out and really supporting the work that we're doing. They have done that not just in Texas, but in other places in the United States. Because yes, we keep our actual physical screenings in Texas, but we teach people in other places in the United States how to do this. And we also teach people in other countries as well, because what we saw is that patients have to show up as patient advocates, true patient advocates. We show up and teach people the real deal. We're not there for industry. We're there to change what is happening.
When we talk about logistics, Reggie, I always struggle with how much detail do people want, because people's eyes glaze over when I start talking about the detail and logistics, right? So Tiffany always gives a good balance between, hey, you're going a little too much into the weeds, right, on these things. But the weeds matter, right?
Hey, yeah, well, we want them to know. We want them to know everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of thought put into these processes. There's a lot of thought that we put in when we brought on genetics. There's a lot of thought that's in that.
Yeah.
So that was a two-year endeavor. Coming up with the workflow for the genetic testing. That was a 2-year endeavor. Just walking through what that workflow would look like, how we would do it in community to a high quality standard, not just having a whole bunch of people stand around in a church and stick something up their nose or stick something in the cheek to swab.
Yeah.
So we could do a photo op. Yeah.
Touch your brain.
I'm just amazed at the stuff that people pull and they're just playing at.
Yeah, but something that but what we're doing also figuring out is that the importance of the photo op, right? That we're actually doing the work, and so we're balancing that out. So there's a lot that goes on under the hood of Texas Kidney Foundation in order to get what we've done. It's not just something we haphazardly do.
I'm passionate about it because I've lost 16 family members to this. So playing stupid games with people's lives is not something that I'm out there to do. Or playing games so somebody can make some money is not something that we're gonna do. I don't begrudge you your opportunity to make money, but I will be damned if you're gonna make money off the backs of the sick. Like that's not gonna happen.
Did you ever did that guy when we was out there that time? You remember the guy that had the kidney problem? Did he ever get in touch with you?
Yeah, I did.
Big guy
at the sandwich. At the sandwich, everything. We did a follow up there. Yeah.
So we follow up with everybody that's willing to follow up with us. What we experience on a regular basis is you follow up with people, and this is what makes me mad with medical professionals who come in with their own agendas. If a doctor tells somebody something, they believe that doctor. That's why it's so important for doctors not to say things that aren't true. And here's something that happens over and over again. We will have a patient tell us, hey, I'm not eligible for a kidney transplant. And when we ask, who told you weren't eligible? Have you been worked up? No, they haven't been worked up. Who told you were eligible?
The doctor.
The doctor.
Which doctor?
and not only that, because you know my situation. My situation, I was with one kidney doctor, and I wasn't getting that kind of information. You know, he was like, well, you know, we're gonna see. But then when I went to Long Beach to play golf, and when my heart started pounding, I went to the doctor, and they were telling me at the hospital, you know, I guess they saw a kidney doctor say, hey,
you met a different one.
Exactly. Say, hey man, we need to get you on this program right now. And that's how I got mine, man. He got me on the program. And it's funny because they asked me, say, how's your arm feeling? I thought you were talking about my muscles. I'm like, my arm feeling good. He said, no, do you know what I said, oh no, I didn't have it in my arm. I had them. And she said, oh, you never got the thing, because that's how fast he did it. You know, so if you know, like within a year, you could keep a catheter in your chest. You know, after a year, then they got to put the thing in your arm, you know. So I didn't have to do that. So that's how fast this doctor jumped on it, and how fast he got me in dialysis and out of dialysis and into a kidney, you know.
Yeah, but people don't realize the different doctors have different specialties. Oftentimes you have doctors who are not transplant doctors telling people they're not eligible, or telling people what can or can't be done.
And if they're not, if it's not a transplant program telling you you're not eligible for a transplant, they shouldn't be telling you that.
Right.
They shouldn't be telling you that. They should be saying, hey, you need to go see a transplant doctor. You need to go see a transplant team, and then the transplant team can tell you.
Exactly. That's just what my doctor said. He was like, hey, man, you got it.
And so oftentimes when we start asking questions of people, so one of the questions we ask, who told you that? They'll say the doctor. Which doctor? Because oftentimes people are seeing, 3, 4, 5 different doctors. Yeah. Right. And it'll be the dialysis doctors telling them that. Well, that person can't tell you that. It has to come from a transplant doctor. Yeah. Right.
And they have to give a workup. They're gonna do a series of tests. It's very thorough. They're not.
It's called science. It's not you just saying, "Oh no, you're not." No, what does the science? What do the numbers say? And that's that's the part that's difficult. Oftentimes when we're dealing with people is, I can't tell you if you are or aren't. I can tell you where to go. I can tell you the questions to ask, right? And then from there, let the science tell you, right? Not someone's opinion. And doctors have a lot of opinions, and there are a lot of doctors giving opinions, and it's not in their specialty, right?
That's right.
And you should be asking questions. And that's what we deal with the most. And it's the highest amongst people who are in dialysis, right? I always tell Tiffany, dealing with people who've been in the cult of dialysis is very difficult. You're literally you're trying to deprogram people to go, no. Hey, you can go to this physician. And so oftentimes we have to get 3 or 4 other experts to say, hey, could you talk to this person? Here's their number, give them a call, and they can explain this to you, right? Because a lot of times, because my name doesn't have an MD after it, all I know is the system. I know that when you go to the system, these are certain things that the system should be giving you. And I can ask you those questions. Did they do a workup? Yes. What did the workup, what was the conclusion of the workup? The conclusion of the workup was I had high antibodies, which make me ineligible. Okay. Did you go to another program? There's a couple other programs here in Texas that specialize in antibodies. And, they got Dr. So-and-so over here, and he's like considered a renowned expert, right? And then you start sending him those articles, see if you can get in with those guys, because they specialize in that particular issue. And then if they tell you no, okay, I would accept that, but until you hear from them, I'd pause. It's America.
Keep hope.
Keep hope. It's America, okay. Right? And you can just start asking and figuring that part out. And so that's the thing that I think that's unique about us as the Kidney Foundation is I'm not buying into one system. I believe in the totality of the system, and we can put you where the best system is who work with people like you. I mean, in Texas, we have a lot of them that do that.
Well, I just want everybody to realize how they can come and get a free test. We are doing free testing across Bexar County. We will be doing free testing in other places in Texas in 2025. So go and check out our calendar at www.txkidney.org. And the last word, what would you like to tell people about kidney disease that they need to know, Reginald?
I like to tell people, look, if you're feeling something off in your body, if your body's swelling up and you have edema, your legs, your ankles, and if you have a history of blood pressure problems, cholesterol, diabetes, go get checked. Mm-hmm. Just go get. If it's free, hey, you can't beat that. It's free, you can't beat that. That's medicine time for me. $99.
Take your medicine.
You get checked, get screened.
That's right. Get screened. And Kevin?
Get screened, right? So our schedule is on txkidney.org/events with an S, and you'll see there what our schedule is. We have our schedule posted for the year 2025, and we're going to be doing some things different. We're going to have health fairs, and we're going to partner with a lot of different people here in the state and in the county to bring more to the citizens of Texas.
More robust testing.
Yep.
We've got cholesterol testing that's coming in. We've got our EGFR testing, mm-hmm. and we're bringing in UACR testing.
Yep.
You will have the full gamut from Texas Kidney Foundation, along with a bunch of other services. We've got some robust partnerships, and we're looking forward to 2025.
Ooh. Learn them numbers. I might put my numbers on my license plate. 0.37.
And you've been listening to On the Record with Tiffany and Kevin on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Thank you, 9:30.